Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition. Let's try this again. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. I, of course, am your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the prolific counter himself, Zealeus.
Can I talk now, or are you going to take three?
No, you can talk. Sorry,
Okay.
it's been a day, so I'm just trying. My brain apparently has run away and is now coming back, maybe, possibly.
Please tell me when you figure out how to capture a brain. That'd be good, useful information to know.
I think my brain's only come as for a part-time position today.
Ah, yes. You must pay overtime to get the full experience then.
Yes. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Thursday Night Hangout. This is our live show where we try our best to cover the topics most important to you during the show. At any point during the show, if you would like to add your thoughts, questions, topics, subjects. I think I'm combining words now. I don't know what's going on. By all means, do it. Drop it in the chat, being on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube. And we'll try to add it to this show. If we do run out of time, we'll add it to the very next show. So without further ado, let us jump into it. And let's go and get the sad news out of the way. There were 2 celebrity deaths this week. Well, I mean, there's more than just 2, but 2 celebrity deaths that definitely hit on my radar and probably Zealeus's as well. The first one, of course, is that Gene Hackman has passed away. Gene Hackman has been in a ton of movies that I have watched and thoroughly enjoyed, and so it's sad to see that he has passed.
He was at the ripe old age of 95, I think.
Yes. Now, the crazy thing is that they also found his wife, 63, I believe was her age, and dog, all 3 deceased for several days in their house.
That does kind of make you wonder.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
So that is very, very sad. Now, the other one that I think hits for me and Zealeus in particular is Michelle Trachtenberg, who died at the age of 39. She was part of Harriet the Spy, the movie. She was also part of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And she was also in a great, terrible movie called Eurotrip.
Whoa. There was nothing terrible about Eurotrip.
Scotty doesn't know. That's right.
Matt Damon's best role.
Yes, exactly. He was flown in that one day. That she apparently, from my understanding, she had like liver replacement in the prior couple of weeks, and so the people are thinking that it was just a rejection and her body just shut down. But 39,
young at 39. So yeah, that one's sad. And I know her mostly. Obviously Eurotrip, but definitely Buffy was one of my staple shows.
Yes, and the lead in Buffy, of course, Sarah Michelle Gellar, definitely wrote her a beautiful tribute piece, basically saying how much that she meant to her and that she was very sad about the passing.
Yeah, her big sister in more than one way.
So that is 2 very sad passings. One you kind of knew was coming sooner or later. The other one, hell of a surprise because she's younger than us.
I know. Hold your liver tight.
Yes. And okay, so let's get into some more exciting news. Actually, the first bit of news, I don't know if it's exciting or not, but Valve is always looking for, something cool, something awesome to ramp up their gaming. We've seen, of course, Steam, and then there was the ill-conceived Steam box, which is just an effing computer. And then they moved on to the, oh my gosh, I'm blanking out. What's the handheld?
Steam Deck.
Yep, there you go, Steam Deck. And now they codename Deckard the XR headset, standalone headset for Valve, apparently is going to launch at some point this year for $1,200. And I know that as soon as Zealeus saw that price tag, he was like, "No, I'm good."
I mean, we're all still waiting on the killer VR headset, right?
Yeah.
But at $1,200, I think it's unfortunately almost a non-starter. And you think of the other handheld of the Steam Deck, and one of the reasons it's so popular, yes, people now love the mobile format you see on the Switch, but it's also that price point. I mean, you get a pretty capable gaming machine
Right.
for like that $400 to $500 you're paying for the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Definitely makes a big difference. But when you start talking, $1,200 for basically a VR kit, I don't think you're gonna have a lot of takers. I mean, just look at the Apple Vision. Same thing. Like, I forget how much that even is. I think it's cheaper than $1,200, but it still is freaking expensive. It's just not selling.
Now, what I want to know, and to be honest with you, this would not surprise me, but when this thing ships, there will be games and demos ready exclusively for the XR headset. And I swear to God, what's going to end up happening, it's Half-Life 3.
That's going to be the killer app. We've all been waiting for the killer game to drive the sales of the VR, and it's going to be Half-Life 3.
I'm almost 100% sure. I don't have any insider information, but I promise you it's going to be Half-Life 3 that is on this damn device.
What about Team Fortress 3? That's why they opened the SDK last week. It's like, you know what? Screw it. We're doing TF3. Let's open up the SDK, and it'll come out with Team Fortress 3 to sell a $1,200 VR kit.
Yeah, why not? First person TF3.
It's the and it could be Half-Life 3 too. It could be the Orange Box 3.
Yeah, who knows?
So
wait. So we're thinking Portal 3 as well.
Actually, Portal 3 on a VR kit would be pretty sick. Not gonna lie.
So Half-Life 3 and Portal 3 bundled together on the Deckard.
What about Counter-Strike 3?
Fuck no.
I mean, I trust that it's going to be a great piece of hardware. That's not the issue.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's going to be phenomenal. The issue is, like, that's just a very expensive piece of hardware to buy. There's just no two ways about it.
Yeah.
So that's my thing. I'm like, whoa. So, yeah. Guess what to see? I don't know if our friend Bobby from the podcast who did all the VR shit. I don't know if he's
Bobby Blackwolf.
I wonder if he still, because I remember he did all the VR stuff. I wonder if he still does that. I'd be kind of fascinated to know if he's going to do this kit also.
Yeah. Yes, I would be interested to see, because for those who don't know, our friend Bobby Blackwolf, he has stereo vision, so he doesn't see things in 3D. Unless it's with the VR headset. If it's a good VR headset, how about that?
So he's managed to so he gets to try them all.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, soon.
Yeah, no, I remember him telling us about it, or he's played every single VR headset. So I'd be curious about this one because it's a gaming VR headset for $1,200, and I'm assuming that means it's its own built-in PC, like a Steam Deck too. Then
I want to know how much it weighs.
Oh gosh, you got to start doing some like the head setups that Mike Tyson did to get the huge neck and offensive linemen. You have to start training now.
Yeah. Or maybe there comes a rig that you can just hang on the ceiling, kind of like track lighting, but it's it's basically just all these long tracks.
Or what about a backpack?
Still, that's a lot of weight on your head and neck.
I mean, a ceiling track sounds like a terrible idea too.
No, I'm just saying that you could lessen the weight with some pulley systems and jazz.
Oh God. Wow, that's not going to break.
No, of course not.
But you're right. I didn't consider that you make a good point though. In all seriousness, we're if VR kit is its own PC also.
Yep.
Those components and obviously you have to have a graphics card to drive it. That shit ain't light.
And the other thing is because my family has the Meta 3s.
Yeah.
I could tell you that after a while, the temperature definitely gets a little toasty around the face, because when my kids are done playing the VR for probably just under an hour, they are red cheeked.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then, of course, you got to think battery power as well, because those things, they eat batteries for breakfast. I mean, they eat the charge pretty quick.
And you would assume that this VR headset's going to be even more super powered, which means
Mhm.
even more super battery drain.
Mhm.
It's going to be like your, what was the Sega Game Gear?
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be like that, where it's hot and it kills your batteries.
And it
It's
just
a
eats
2-for-1.
6 AA batteries in like 2 hours. Who knows?
Sorry, kids, you're going to play the VR headset for 2 hours because then it's dead.
Well, I mean, this of course, once again, it's definitely the shiny new toy thing. Whenever this Deckard XR headset comes out, it'll be the very, very rich people who get it, and hopefully, it sticks around long enough so we could get maybe a cheaper iteration or a more streamlined iteration. For us normal people.
I mean, it's hard because you're competing. I mean, even thinking about you got the PlayStation 5 headset. I think that's $400. But then you still have the Meta Quest. I mean, you have somewhat affordable VR headsets. I'm not saying they're not expensive,
right?
But they're at least in that $300 to $400 range. Then you're going to $1,200. Like, that's a pretty big fucking change.
Yeah. You get two of the other headsets or 2 or even 3 of the other headset for 1 of theirs. So
I mean, you can get a PlayStation 5 and a VR headset for less than the price of that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. I mean, it could be kind of like the Steam machine that came out, which was obviously never really meant to sell. Like, it was almost like a prototype in a way for the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
And you kind of wonder if that's what this is. Like, hey, let's see, what works, what doesn't work. We know it's not going to sell well, but we're Valve, so we make billions of dollars not doing anything anyway. So let's just do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess we'll see. But
I won't see it, but maybe somebody else will.
Well, like I said, I will definitely say that I'm not going to pick one up, but I hope that maybe enough people pick it up, or they get good enough reviews, and maybe there's a drop in price in in the near future or distant future. I don't know.
Maybe it should be a Ultra Confusion expense. Maybe they could buy one.
Ultra Confusion. Bank account is not that well endowed right now.
You're saying you're not well endowed by Valve.
Yeah, no. I mean, but hey, Valve, if you want to send one to Ultra Confusion, by all means, you will hit me up after this, or when you watch this or listen to this, and we'll find a way to get the XR headset featured.
They're going to send it to other reviewers. Why not?
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Anyways, so there was a game out there that is definitely on the Steam platform. It was created by Kojima Productions and starred Norman Reedus in the lead role, called Death Stranding. And there's a little bit more information on Death Stranding 2 because they had to make a sequel. I will go on record and say that I put probably way too much time into that game. And I'm going to cheat and look at exactly how much time I put in there. If just give me 1 second. There we go. Death Stranding. I put 97 hours into it. So there's definitely something to the game. But they are still not setting a hard release date. They just continue to say sometime in 2025. But what's being told right now is Fans are told to expect the unexpected when it comes to the story, which both excites me and scares me a little bit because there was some weird shit that happened in the first one, and to expect the unexpected with after where the storyline went in the first one, I really need to know what all that really means.
So would it be unexpected to just have a normal run-of-the-mill story?
It would be unexpected if the guy, if Norman Reedus' character ends up, opening up an ice cream shop. That would be unexpected.
I think they should do that. Just totally throw out, or that's like they release like a fake game to start with.
You think you're playing the real game, and then you see like, oh god, it's like what was the name of that game? I want to call it. Hold on. Now that I have Steam, Doki Doki Literature Club, where you think you're just doing some kind of sweet virtual novel stuff, and then it goes like, whoa, off the deep end.
There you go. Really subvert their expectations. They won't see it coming. That's just a normal story.
Now they of course have promised that the world the game will feature reactive worlds and open-ended encounters. Basically, exactly what you got in the first one.
Nice.
So I'm excited. I mean, I'll probably pick it up. I put 97 freaking hours into the first one, so there's a very, very, very good chance that Charlie is picking up that second one. Probably close to release if I have the Pirate Change.
I mean, it helps when you played a game in what is now a continuation, and the first one's really good, so why wouldn't you?
Right, exactly. Yeah, I will say this though. They are supposed to release more information on this game during a special panel out at South by Southwest, which of course is happening. Oh, shoot, where is that? Is that Austin, Texas? I feel like SXSW is in Texas somewhere. But this panel will be occurring on March 9th, where I'm sure that they'll probably drop you a
Austin, Texas.
There we go. I was right. Haha. Everybody out there will get the good news and the bad news. The good news, of course, is you'll get a release date. The bad news is you will get the first release date will be a PlayStation 5 release date.
Yeah.
But it is already promised for the PC. So yeah,
it will get there eventually.
Yes, it will get there eventually. But I'm just so curious now where they're going to take the story, because from where you start in the first one to where it ends, totally didn't see it, and there's some of the twists and turns as well.
Well, I think there's only one way to find out, sir.
I will get it when it comes to the PC.
There you go. Problem solved.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Now, speaking of anticipation, let's talk about the fact that there is a gentleman out there, Shinichiro Watanabe, who has a couple of animes underneath his belt, most notably Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo. And his next entry is coming very, very soon. It will be coming to Adult Swim, and it will be coming in April, and it is called Lazarus. If you want to see the, it's Adult Swim just released the trailer. The premiere will be at midnight on April 5th on Adult Swim, and then it will be available for streaming on Max the very next day.
I don't even know, is Adult Swimming a TV station now? Is it a part of something else? I am so out of the loop.
So, see, that's a very good question, and I don't really know the answer either.
Like it used to be like just a programming segment on
Cartoon Network.
Thank you. So like I knew what it was, but now I don't even know what I hear it referred to, but I'm like, what is it?
I think it's a channel, but like the gaming arm is completely gone. That I know for sure, because there was that whole fiasco like a couple months ago about all the games that were under the Adult Swim publishing wing being delisted on Steam, and thankfully the developers who were working with Adult Swim games back in the day were able to get I think Adult Swim's owned by Warner Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they finally got them to like shut the hell up and just click on the 3 check marks to transfer ownership so that the game developers could continue to have their Steam pages. Because as we've discussed in previous shows, if you have a game on Steam and then it gets delisted and then you bring it back, that is considered a brand new game. All of the assets, all of the records, all of the purchases, all that stuff goes poof, gone. So if you have a very dedicated fan base that utilizes, the discussion boards and all that stuff for your game, you do not want to have to put your game back onto Steam because they do not link it. So, yeah. But anyways, back to Lazarus. So little bit of a background. It is set in 2052. The series follows Lazarus, a task force of 5 agents gathered from across the world to save humanity when a miracle drug is revealed to be a deadly biological weapon designed to kill off users 3 years after indigestion. Lazarus is assembled to track down the drug's enigmatic creator in a last-ditch effort to devise a cure. But to do that, they'll have to find him first.
Sure.
I'll be watching it. I will try to watch every single episode.
That does not sound right up my alley. I'll leave that to the professionals.
The thing is, Cowboy Bebop was my gateway drug into anime, okay? And then Samurai Champloo was a phenomenal anime. And now he's coming back again with something else. I'm in. I've already signed up. Don't worry about it.
That's Stranding. You know what? They did the original first, so it's got to be good.
Yeah. I mean, he wouldn't sign. I have a feeling that he wouldn't sign himself on before, unless he thought it was good.
Fair enough.
Now the question is, I wonder who the voice actors are going to be.
AI.
I don't know if they've announced. I'm assuming. Well, maybe they've announced it. I don't know. Let me check. But I would. I've got a soft spot for one voice actor who was in the first 2. So let's see if they've actually got the voice actors for. No, I think these are. Yeah, this is just the Japanese, not the American voiceovers.
Yes.
The person I'm talking about is Steve Blum. Of course, he was Spike Spiegel in Cowboy Bebop, and I cannot remember his character in Samurai Champloo, but I highly enjoy hearing his voice in shows. So there you go.
I don't think there's really any voice actor I'd be able to hear and tell you who they are.
I think you would be surprised. I think there's a couple out there that you probably know because they were probably major like live action stars that also voice.
Maybe.
But you probably couldn't know, wouldn't be able to guess as best, or you wouldn't be like, oh, actually, you might still be able to do like if you heard the same voice in a different anime, right? Or no?
Maybe. Just depends, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we've already discussed this, but I'm just going to say it again. Ladies and gentlemen, the Chromecast is officially dead. I feel like we said that last week, but I just want to make sure people understand that the Chromecast is dead. Yeah. It still technically works. Like, you can still stream to it, but there's not going to be any updates to it, and you can't buy it anymore.
Yeah, don't go trying to buy Chrome. I guess you could buy it used, right? Get it on sale.
I guess. Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, it's so cheap anyways. Would you really want it on sale?
I mean, what's the new one? Everyone needs to go up to the Google TV.
I think it's called Google TV now.
Yeah.
It's Chromecast with Google TV
or something. It's it's a nice little
maybe
shapy box.
I guess it's just now called the Google TV streamer is what it's called.
Okay. Well, whatever it is, I've got 2 of them in my house. It's nice. You know, it's basically just a hub where you can put all of your streaming stuff on there.
But it looks like it's no longer an HDMI dongle, because that was one of the cool things about the Chromecast.
Yep.
It's just plugged into the back of your TV. It could just sit there.
Yep.
It doesn't look that way.
Nope. And I do remember that I have some of like the older dongles that are still HDMI, but they stopped working, and you had to get like a newer one, the one that came with the fancy remote. So it's like the step before what it is, but what they're pushing everyone to now, which is always a pain in the ass when you have to find the stupid remote.
Yes. No one wants to find the stupid remote.
Because the remotes are tiny. Okay? I have a hard enough time finding, my freaking cell phone. But when the remote is basically a quarter of the size of my cell phone,
well,
in a house that has 3 other individuals, they're constantly picking shit up and putting it down in random places, I'm going to have issues.
Well, that's why some of us live alone. I don't have to deal with other people losing my shit.
I should just invest in a hot glue gun and some string.
I was going to say in some those tracker things.
Oh, get the ID things, the Apple tags.
Yeah, but what's the other brand? The one that originally did it. That's what I was trying to think of.
Tiles.
Yeah, get some tiles and strap them on that bad boy.
There you go.
I mean, that's like my number one use of my Apple Watch is being able to ping where my phone is.
That's the number one. That's one of the main features that my wife utilizes a lot. I don't have an Apple Watch. I have a Fitbit, which means that it actually has a battery instead of the instead of the Apple Watch.
I mean, mine's not wired up to anything. It has a battery.
No, what I mean is that I don't have to charge it every single day.
Yeah. Congratulations.
It's nice, and I can see when I receive a text and when I get a phone call, and it keeps all of my health stats. And actually it's probably about the same in price, but I can't do the Dick Tracy move of talking on my watch as if it was a phone.
I think I've done that honestly once, because I'm always near my phone. So for me, it really doesn't help. And I'm not going to talk into a shitty mic on the Apple Watch.
No, I can't tell you how many times I've called someone like, oh, hey, I'm on my watch. Let me go find my phone. Hold on a second. I'm like,
I mean, it is nice to be able to answer on your watch and then go transfer to your phone. It is kind of slick.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you're not near your phone to actually answer it. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So there was an opinion piece that I came across the other day, and I wanted to discuss it with everyone, including Zealeus. I know.
Well, the opinion's wrong.
Okay. So with the advent of streaming and all that jazz, and you're having these shows that are, because the the upside and the downside of streaming. A lot of options are dump an entire season of a TV series at once instead of like, a slow release. But even then, if it's still a release, there has been an increase in time between seasons, especially when it comes to anime. Now, for anyone out there, you know that the vast majority of the time when you're doing like any type of show, sometimes if that show is basically tap dancing on the line of will we continue or will we not, you won't know until the 11th hour.
Yep.
And so it takes a while when they finally decide, oh, we're going to do it. They got to do the scripts. If it's an animated thing, then they've got to do, once they get all the scripts and then they storyboard, then they've got to do all the art, make sure it looks good. Then they got to do the voice work. And so it takes quite a while. There are anime out there that have been waiting, we have been waiting for certain seasons of anime for 3 to 5 years.
Oh dear.
So one anime for those out there who may watch it is Fire Force. Fire Force season 3 is finally coming out this April. So we can finally continue the story. You also have there's also, especially when it comes to anime, a lot of anime is based off of manga. Of course, if an anime is picked up early in the manga, now you've got even more steps to go through. Case in point, of course, is One Punch Man. So yeah,
what's the opinion piece about though?
Huh?
Like, these are just kind of stating facts. What is the opinion?
So the opinion is that oh my gosh, hold on. My brain just went. So you've got this weird thing going on, because I think we talked about this last week about the fact that there are regulations that are now trying to be put into place, especially in Japan, when it comes to the health and well-being of the manga writers and the animators and all that stuff, because they are literally having to spit stuff out at this rapid pace to try to keep up with the voracious hunger of everybody. And
I'm confused. I'm confused. Didn't we just say that things are not coming out fast and they're like 4 years apart?
Okay.
So I'm a bit confused.
So what's happening is, especially for the manga people, manga usually comes, there's certain manga that comes out in a weekly kind of like collection book.
Sure.
And so you have all these artists and writers constantly doing that. They're of course being completely their mental well-being not being taken into consideration. They're not allowed to stop, which apparently has caused quite some issues. And then as a result, you have, oh my gosh, come on, Charlie, brain work here. When you do have like the transition from manga to anime, and then of course there's the, certain creators have the, there's, oh my gosh, Charlie, words, Zealeus, where are the words that I need?
I don't know where.
Okay, here's the deal. A lot of the people out there who write the manga, they have first right veto. They've got they've what's the word I'm looking for?
I mean, first right veto is a thing.
Okay, fine. So not only are they getting taxed to, try to pump out this amazing stuff at a record pace, but then they also have to, when they're dealing with getting it to another media, they also have to deal with the execs trying to push different story arcs, making changes, and if they're popular enough or they're well known enough, then they have to like read through all that stuff, and then
Sure.
so it's a very lengthy process. And then of course you have the animation studios, and there have been here's one of the problems is that some series are having to change anime companies, not anime companies, animation studios, and the quality has gone because they're having to try to pump out things too fast and not taking their time to refine it. Oh, look, video games. They're basically going that route. Now, of course, I've completely derailed my thought now. Way to go, Zealeus. You made me forget what I was going to say.
I don't know what I did. I'm sorry, man.
Come on, Charlie. Get it together. Okay, so one of the other issues is because this anime is not coming out. Logistically, it takes a while to get shit done. I understand. Like when you make any type of animation, it is not something you could quickly just throw out there, and then unless you're South Park. Even with South Park, did they start off with just like cut out pieces of paper and they did like stop motion?
I could create a stop motion anime. Let's do it, bro.
Oh boy. No, let's not. But so you got a couple things going on. You've got a long wait period, which means that you might be losing fans because you're taking too long for the next thing. You're also talking about having to employ those individuals for a very long time, which a lot of studios are not going to want to do because it's a lot of money for something that may not have the return that they're looking for.
Sounds like I'm hearing a lot of shitty project management.
Yeah, welcome to the world where the bottom line is like dollar signs and
you think of like traditional. I mean, I know we're not there anymore, but you think of like traditional TV. It was very predictable cycles.
Yep.
Like you knew when you're filming, you had your 24 episode arcs.
Yep.
And you run like approximately August through December, take like a month or two break for the holidays, and start up in like January, February, and then get to May or June, depending. So you weren't doing new episodes over the summer. Then you could watch Saved by the Bell over the summer with reruns.
Right.
And that's that no longer is a thing. Even outside of anime studios, you look at like prestige TV with the HBOs and the Netflixes, and it's all fucking random. Like I don't know when a new series, and it is kind of annoying. Because you'll watch a show and you'll get done with the season, and it's like, when's the next season comes out? And it's like
2.5 years.
At least when you got done with a network TV show, if it got renewed, of course, like the new season was only like 4 to 5 months away.
Right, exactly.
You didn't have to wait long.
Yeah.
Of course, the irony of that is the golden age of TV was all procedural. So like, you didn't really have to remember what happened 5 months ago anyways. Whereas now everything is such the opposite procedural, where it does matter what happened 5 months ago, but now it's like 2 years ago. And you're like, I don't know what happened to these people. So even in TV, I see the same thing.
Well, the other thing is with a lot of the shows now, with procedural, or your sitcoms, all that stuff, you have 4 or 5 main areas. You're going to use that stage over and over and over again. And now you've got every single episode, a new world. Yes, they've got one linking thing. I'm thinking of a space show, the Orville, which basically is their version of they had their spaceship that you always saw and a couple of the decks that you saw, and then they go on to different planets. Now, of course, that one, I think there's a new season of Orville coming eventually sometime, maybe. I don't know. But because of the way that the projects are run now, you may not be able to get all the actors back. If you don't immediately, because these shows are having to wait so long to see if they're going to be renewed or not, there's a lot of actors who have to sign on for other projects because, you don't know,
Whereas, like, if you're on, actually started watching NCIS again, because sometimes there's something about just a simple procedural.
Yeah.
Where you don't have to think and be like, when's, I can watch the next episode 2 days from now or 2 years from now. It really doesn't matter.
And you kind of know, okay, this is how it's going to start. Here's the murder that's going to occur. Here's the investigations. Here's the little twist. Here's the aha moment.
Which of the first 3 characters was it introduced to that clearly had no bearing on the story or actually the murder?
Exactly.
It's always one of the first 3.
Well, that's the Scooby-Doo formula.
It works. It's tried and true, man.
My kids and I, we still watch like random Scooby-Doo episodes, and within the first 5 minutes, we're like, okay, you've been introduced to the randoms. Which one of them is the killer, or which one is the bad guy? Because it's one of them.
But no, there's something to be said for that, because if you're on NCIS, and pretty soon if it's going to be renewed, whereas Netflix or Amazon Prime show, you don't know, and sometimes they don't start filming till years later for weird, crazy reasons.
But here's the other real weird, crazy fact. I was reading a story the other day about the voice actor from the TV show Arcane. She was the voice actor behind Jinx, or Powder, whatever you want to call her. And she actually did not know that there was only 2 seasons.
That is crazy.
Because that's literally because of the break in time. You're just brought back and okay, we need you're Jinx again, say these lines. And so it's what she did. And so she figured, at some point in the future, they'll have a season 3 and I'll just, jump back into character, but no.
Yeah. That is nuts.
It's a crazy world, man.
It is. What I do hate though is TV shows that release so Reacher is doing the whole thing where they release the first 3 episodes and then one every week. I hate that format.
They're trying to they're trying to make you want more, damn it. They want to hook you really bad.
I am hooked. I want to binge the entire damn thing tonight.
No, you can't.
But I can't.
No.
And what ends up happening is I watch the first 3 episodes and then I will forget the show's on or exist.
And then you'll have to go back and you have to rewatch the first 3 episodes and then binge watch the rest of it.
I don't do that.
What? I do it. I do it way too often.
No, I pretty much never rewatch TV shows, especially if I, in the last couple of months, watched those episodes. No way.
Oh, I definitely do, because I watch too much stuff for me to be like, oh, who's this character again?
No, I'll get over it if I don't remember.
Yeah, well, better man than me, Zealeus.
I just have more distinguished taste. What can I say?
Oh, good grief. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to pause real quick to thank the individuals who help Alter Confusion be the Alter Confusion that you love and adore. And that, of course, is the friends of the show. So without further ado, let us give the first shout out. And that, of course, goes to the Indie Cluster. The Indie Cluster is an organization of independent game developers that want to gain exposure by being involved in the industry. They collectively journey to popular conferences as a traveling booth to help gain attention for their games. They make partnerships in local communities to bring games to the mainstream mindset. They highlight local, unusual, and rare concepts to challenge the paradigm of the common. They also host events to teach kids and minority groups about game development to hopefully one day enter the industry themselves. For more information, go to indiecluster.com. The next shout out we got to give is to the AV master himself. That, of course, is Noodle Boy Media. Founded in 2015 by Andrew Tran, Noodle Boy Media, previously YK47 Media, is your choice for professional photo shoots and panel recordings at conventions. They pride themselves in providing a high level of professionalism, top-notch experiences, and quality services. If you want more information and to view their full list of services, check out facebook.com/noodleboymedia.
I just realized that means Noodle Boy's 25 years old. Or, wow, not 20, 10 years old.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
Happy birthday to Noodle Boy Media. Or happy anniversary. The next shout out we got to give is to the person who can help with all those aches and pains if you're in the greater Atlanta area, and that, of course, is Hero Chiropractic. Hero Chiropractic is a unique healthcare practice set up by Ryan Moore. The company's focus to elevate patients' experience of freedom, good expression, and joy. They believe that everyone can be a hero and has incredible heroic potential inside themselves waiting to be unleashed. Hero Chiropractic focuses on mobile chiropractic care in the greater Atlanta area. They are committed to healing clients by creating a plan of action uniquely suited for each person. They make that plan of action as convenient and affordable as possible, and most importantly, suited to your individual needs. For more information, go to herochiropractic.com. And oh, by the way, he was here today. He helped with some severe aches and pains, and I am in a much happier place.
He's alive!
The next shout out we got to give is to the music maestro himself, and that, of course, is CrossPad Creative. Need a new logo or want to work on a full branding and content strategy? Or maybe you need music or audio for your content, just like Alter Confusion? CrossPad Creative offers a whole host of solutions for individuals and small businesses. Just email Josh at crosspadcreative@gmail.com and see what he can do for you. The last shout out we got to give is to the original backer on Patreon, and that, of course, is Agile Axiom. By day, Axe leads both the development team and system administration team working with satellites at NASA's Goddard campus. But while not in meetings and many times during, he is the Agile evangelist, Agile Axe, championing the philosophy of Agile and trying to make the world a better place for software developers, testers, system admins, and software projects the world over. Decades of experience in software development and leading Agile teams are brought to bear against evil processes, inefficient work, and bad habits. For more information, go to agileaxiom.com. Now, at this very moment in time, I know, ladies and gentlemen, that you are dying to know, how do I become a friend of the show? Well, it's quite simple. You see, Alter Confusion survives on the love and support of fans like you, and that's why we have a Patreon page. Patreon lets you, the fans, lovers, haters, demigods, interdimensional beings, gods, demons, aliens, mummies, werewolves, swamp creatures, vampires, supporters, and more to become active participants in the work we love through a monthly membership. This gives you access to exclusive content, community, and insight into our creative process. In exchange, we gain a bit more freedom to do our best work and the stability we need to build an even stronger creative career. We currently have two different tiers. There's one tier that's the first tier. It's $1 a month or $12 a year. What you get is early access to all of our playthroughs as well as the ability to participate in Patreon-only posts. Now, if you're feeling a little frisky, you can bump it up to the $5 a month tier. That's $5 a month or $60 a year. What they'll get you is everything at the $1 tier, but it will also gain your name or organization added to every single friend of the show section of the Thursday Night Hangout. So if you want to become a patron of Alter Confusion, go to Patreon, that's patreon.com/Altered Confusion today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it brings me great pleasure to tell you that Alter Confusion is proud to say that we have been fundraising for Extra Life for 14 straight years. Extra Life is gamers doing what they do best, game, to help sick and injured children at their chosen Children's Miracle Network Hospital. The money we raise through Extra Life will go directly to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta as unrestricted funds. This means that the hospital decides where and how to spend the money to ensure the dollars we raise make the biggest impact in the lives of the kids they treat. So if you have the capacity to donate, please go to extra-life.org and search for Altered Confusion today. Well, at least I didn't bumble that part. Ha ha ha.
Maybe you need an extra life.
Possibly, or a star, an invulnerability star to get me through the rest.
What about just a mushroom so you can grow up?
Ouch, Zealeus, that hurt. I will always be a kid at heart.
I think it could fortify your body, mind, and soul.
Uh-huh. Anyways. Next on the... Oh, excuse me. God, now my nose itches. Thanks a lot, Zealeus.
See, that's why I need the mushroom. The mushroom will help with your itches. It solves all your bodily harms.
Uh-huh. And now, this shows you how out of it I am. I'm trying to utilize the mouse on the computer that we're streaming on and not the mouse on the laptop that I'm looking up the news stories. So no wonder I was unable to change the freaking tab.
That sounds way too confusing for my brain.
It is. It is very. Okay. So, let us talk about these things called books. Ladies and gentlemen, it is unfortunately one day past the cutoff for you to have downloaded all your digital books from Amazon onto your computer. You now are you've now graduated to having a license to read the book and not actually have possession of the book.
You can still download the books.
You can't download it to your computer anymore.
Yeah, you can.
They turned off that feature yesterday.
You can do it like different. It's maybe not straightforward, but there's still ways to do it.
Well, if you could jump through some
pirating.
hoops.
I'm not even talking about pirating, but you can still do it.
Well, no. Through the Amazon website, you no longer have the ability to download straight from the website to your computer.
I think you can still do it from your phone, load it on the USB, and do it that way. I'm not saying it's straightforward, but there's still ways to do it.
Yes, but the main stream or
Does anyone actually read books on the computer? I would imagine they're just doing it on their Kindle.
You can do that both. There's a Kindle app
Yeah.
that
reading on my computer sounds like a terrible idea.
What do you think you do all day?
I don't read, like I glance at words, but I'm not like, it's different reading like what I'm doing on my computer versus like sitting there and like reading a actual book are two very different things.
Okay, touche. Anyways, so that is gone. But
remember, I don't read story quest lines anyways. Ha!
So how the hell do you read? Well, it's probably because you've got other things to look at. Anyways, so sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
There was another opinion piece, and I swear to God, I hope that I can actually string this one together better than the anime one. But I showed this one to Zealeus as well. It was about if you're getting into fantasy books, here's a couple of series to avoid because of the complexity of the was it the story building or
I think it's like the world. It was like a combination of both the world building story and maybe. Because to me, that's where like the whole "Don't Read the King Killer Chronicles" lost weight to me.
Well, it's because there's not another book.
Yeah, but the story building itself isn't extraordinarily complex.
Yeah, no, it's not. I loved it. I wanted more of it, and then Patrick Rothfuss disappeared.
You're right. That's an accurate statement.
So I mean that one was kind of a head scratcher to me. I
think it was recommendations basically not for newbies,
right?
Which I guess is ironic because when it comes to people who are not, I've done this before, like especially when I worked at the schools, people who are not familiar so much with fantasy and sci-fi. Mm-hmm. You know, the number one book I actually recommended was In the Name of is it The Name of the Wind?
Yes, The Name of the Wind. Oh, Spartan 0137 says, if I am reading to learn something, it would be from a book because I usually make notes, highlights, and tag pages. If I need to read something for entertainment, audiobooks over and over again usually hit the itch. If I still had to drive into work, if I was not strictly remote, I would still be doing a shit ton of audiobooks, but because I'm at home, I don't know. For me, like audiobooks is like car time for me. And so I can't focus. There's too much shit in my house that would draw my focus, so I would miss out on the storylines if I did audiobooks.
Same. I can't sit here and listen to an audiobook. Like at home, like I'm not just going to sit here and listen to audiobooks. What I do is like when I'm working out or walking around the neighborhood, that is actually when I've been digging audiobooks.
Yeah.
So that's when I use it. But yeah, I have a friend and she listens to audiobooks all day long. I don't know how you do it. Like, but I'm also one of those people who can't multitask. Like, if I'm talking on the phone or listening to audiobook and I do anything else, I have no idea what I just listened to for the last minute. I just can't. And some people can. Some people can work on their computer and like do stuff and listen and like actually comprehend both. I just never been able to do that.
Spartan says the only drive due to taking the kids to school, but agree with the audiobook. I might audiobook if I'm cleaning or working on something in the house, but not on their own. I'm in agreement there with you both.
Yeah, I just don't clean my house, so it's not a problem.
Wow, that says a lot about you, Zealeus.
But yeah, like the King Killer Chronicles, I actually recommend The Name of the Wind to people who have not read the genre because it's such not. And I warned them, like, hey, by the way, this is not a finished series, but the first there's a follow up, but the first book on it can kind of stand on its own regardless. Like,
what was it? The Name of the Wind, The Wise Men's Fear.
Yeah.
And then there's the Slow Regard of Silent Things, which you have to really want a different perspective of a character that just kind of.
Yeah.
But
now there were a couple others. I know the one I've heard recommended a lot that was on there is, I'm just pulling it up because I want to make sure I get the name of this series right.
Well, one of them is the series that I keep recommending to Zealeus. That's the Lycanus trilogy.
I did see that on there. I know you had read it, so I wasn't going to comment because I'm like, I don't know.
I mean, I understand. There's definitely some parts where you're like, oh my God, let's just move on. But then again, there's an author out there who basically writes all the Shannara books that I can't read because I don't need to know about the wood grain of a table that has no relevance to the story.
For 20 pages.
Yeah.
Yeah. To me, the Shannara series is the definition of first 25 pages, really interesting.
Yeah.
Middle 400 pages, you're reading about the grain on the wood as they walk through the forest. And the last 25 pages are really good.
It's like they had a word count they had to hit.
Yeah, we've talked about that one times. But yeah, the one that was mentioned is the Malzahn Book of the Fallen, where I've heard it's an absolutely phenomenal series.
Yeah.
But it's super hard to get into. And basically people have like flow charts and cliff notes and shit they're referring to all the time to know what's going on. I'm like, that sounds like tedious and too much work.
How about the Wheel of Time series?
I feel like that's one where I haven't read it personally. I feel like that's one where if you know what you're getting into, then okay.
Yeah.
See, the one I would have actually taken out, because everything I've heard about the Wheel of Time, it's still a good series. The one I would actually move out and put in place of that is Wizard's First Rule.
Mm-hmm.
Terry Goodkind. First book, it's a really good, just classic farmer boy becomes savior of the world type of fantasy book.
Wait, that's the Black Cauldron.
But then it basically becomes a political movement of libertarianism for like the remaining of the series.
Mm-hmm.
And like book after book, it's like, wait, this becomes like more and more political bullshit. So that's one I would actually put on there. Like it starts great and then just becomes, it reminds me a lot of Atlas Shrugged, Ayn Rand. And basically it reminds me of Ayn Rand. We have stories, but it's basically just a big political book. The other one I disagree with though is the First Law series by Joe Abercrombie.
Yeah.
I get it's not for everyone, but that's like, don't read Joe Abercrombie if you don't know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah.
It's dark, grim fantasy. Like it's going to be in your face and violent. That's what the genre is. So that was a bit of a head scratcher to me because it's not that difficult or hard to read. It's good story building, but it's not something like the Malzahn Book of the Fallen where you're like, what the fuck is going on? I would actually say Lord of the Rings is very hard to read, honestly.
Agreed.
Because absolutely Tolkien is all about, he does a much better job of it, but he's still going to spend 25 pages fucking describing the grain on a tree as they're walking through the woods. He 100% did that. So, like, I know they're never going to put Lord of the Rings on a list like that, but that's a hard series to read.
Yeah. Trying to remember. So there's a Michael Moorcock series called the L. Oh crap! I clicked off of it, of course. Elric Saga, and I feel like I read something else by him, but now, of course, I can't remember what the hell the book is. I'm trying to remember if it is the Elric Saga or not.
Yeah,
I
I've
read
heard of
way
that.
too many
I've
books
heard of
sometimes.
I've heard of all the series on this list. I just haven't read them all.
Oh no, I read the Chronicles of Corum, so it's not the Elric series; it's the other dude. So
Yeah.
never mind.
I would be curious how the Wheel of Time TV series does compare to the book series, having not read the books. If anyone is familiar with and has watched the TV series, obviously.
Now I'll also say this: I think that going back from reading it or listening to it, I think that the more complex world building books might behoove you to actually listen to it on audiobook. So you're not having to read all of that stuff, and it can because I'm going to be honest with you, if you try to shove a bunch of description down my throat and I'm trying to read it, I'm going to read it slower and slower and I'm going to start praying in my mind that you just get on with it. Whereas in an audiobook, because I'm just listening to it, I'm not having to read it. I think I'd be a little bit more forgiving because the Joe Abercrombie, by the way, I love the First Law series, but I will admit that I've never actually read it. I have it on Audible, and it was fucking phenomenal. And there's another series that I listened to a lot on Audible that I don't know if I would have actually been able to get as far as I did if it was in book and not Audible.
What series is that?
I'm trying to pull
As
it
you
up.
think about that, though, I think you actually make a really good point because, like, I recently listened to Dune on audiobook, and it was actually a much better experience than reading it because you're right. Like when they get into when they kind of go on about the lore and the religion and stuff, like I really listen to it because kind of like I was saying earlier, if I'm listening to an audiobook, that's the only thing I'm doing. So like I was really taking in like the stories of Muad'Dib and all that stuff that when I was reading the book, I 100% just glossed over some of the stuff because I'm like, okay, I'm bored of this now. But it definitely is a very different effect when I'm doing the audiobook. So yeah, no, I would totally agree with that. My only problem is it takes me like 6 months to do an audiobook because I just do it while I'm walking.
Yeah.
So it can take a long time.
Well, that was the thing because I would drive to work. It would take me anywhere from 35 minutes to an hour and 35 minutes. And so, and that's, Monday through Friday. So I was getting huge chunks out. Spartan was commenting about how we were talking about Tolkien. He says he could be super descriptive. Seems probably to get his kids to fall asleep faster since he probably tired of trying to think of material on his feet right before bedtime. Yep. God dang it. I was hoping I could find those stupid
books, like long books. So, for instance, a couple of series I've read are by Sarah J. Maas. She writes good young adult fantasy books, but I don't think I want to do those in audiobooks because they're so fucking long.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, not to be dismissive, but they're not highly descriptive like in the Dune way. So like that, I don't think was have a high as much an effect reading the audiobook versus a more descriptive series like Dune or even Abercrombie to an extent. So I think, yeah, it definitely does depend on the book, on what is the series I actually want to do an audiobook is Harry Potter. I just don't want to get an Audible subscription because I just can't justify the cost.
Gotcha.
I try using just Libby, and the Libby reservation for Harry Potter is like 6 years. So I don't even try.
Well, the thing is, once again, I share my Audible.
Yeah.
So it's not just me. Okay, seriously, where the hell is this book?
You will find it. It is there somewhere.
It is by Terry Mancour. It is the Spellmonger series.
Nice.
And And then I actually found out about there was a book that I just picked up randomly on Audible. The other thing is there's sometimes where, because I know I'm going to, back in the day when was in the car a lot, I would get Audible books about things that sounded interesting that maybe I didn't have time to read. And then, have someone read it to me. And then next thing you know, I'm like, oh shit, I'm hooked. I need more from this author.
I see the other ironic part to me, actually, of audiobooks is if I read a book and I don't like it, I just stop reading because I get bored.
Yeah.
But if it's an audiobook, I'm already listening to it, I'm just going to continue to listen to it. So like I actually listened to audiobook. I absolutely hated it, but the first May series book I thought was absolute trash. But I started it, so I finished it anyways. I'm like, I'm already listening to it. It gives me something to do while I'm just walking around. But if I just read in the book format, I would have stopped reading it.
Yeah.
So in a weird way, audiobooks kind of forced me to just finish it.
Kind of gives the books an additional chance to win you over.
It never really won me over. It was like a challenge. Like,
well, no, but I'm just saying it had multiple chances. It had more chances than it would have if you had it in your hand.
Oh yeah, no. If it was on my hand, I just would have stopped reading and moved on. Be like, no, I've got.
Oh, there's also a book series by Scott Mayer called. The series is called Magic 2.0.
Oh.
That was actually a really cool Audible book to read or listen to, I should say. I will say that there are a couple of books that I listen to on Audible, and when I'm desperate to read something and I can't find something that just clicks for me on my Kindle, I'll go ahead and just buy the digital copy of the actual book and reread it. I've done it with Larry Correa books, and then there was another series called The Supernaturals, which was I don't know. I've always got a weak spot for like the paranormal like TV shows, especially if they're like what do you call it? Reenactments, like A Haunting, which was on TV for 4 or 5 seasons. I ate that shit up.
Nice.
So, anyways, now that we've completely gone off topic. No, we haven't gone off topic because we were talking about books and world building. So, haha.
We're perfectly on topic as always.
But of course, that's
what we do here. We're still on topic. We're off topic.
Switching back gears real quick about games.
That's right. I forgot I have a free audiobook by John Scalzi to read.
Ooh, love him too.
Starter Villain.
Oh, actually, my therapist was like, dude, you got to read that book. I'm like, damn it. Okay, fine. I'll go. That'll be my next one.
Is that a good or bad thing when your therapist is telling you to read the book?
Well, no, he was like, I love John Scalzi. Have you ever heard John Scalzi? I'm like, fuck yeah, I've heard John Scalzi. He goes, I just got this book, and if you like his work, you got to read this one. I'm like, oh, okay.
Like, it was a free thing. I don't remember why, but it was. I'm like, sure.
Well, then, hot damn.
Hell yeah.
Okay, real quick, video games. So if you've been following my stream, I apologize that I cut this past Tuesday off short. I've been dealing with a left arm shoulder injury that I obtained in basketball last week. Hopefully, Hero Chiropractic adjusted it to get everything right again. My arm feels a lot better. I've got a lot more movement in it right now, so I'm hopeful. But yeah, I just my arm started aching, so I had to pull I had to stop the stream early on Tuesday. I am still playing Avowed by Obsidian Entertainment
What do you think?
on the PC. I still cannot look at the characters when they talk because the lip syncing is so fucking bad. I still only have two companions with me. I know that there's a couple more companions out there. Still a solid game. I mean, at this point I've put in 23 hours.
You know what I feel like? I think it's almost like when you look at video game review websites, it's
Mhm.
almost like either the game is the greatest thing since sliced bread or it's trash.
Mhm.
Like, it's never just like, hey, this is a good game.
Yeah.
Or even an okay game. Like, there's nothing wrong with just being an okay game. But it's either like you have to either be like the best game ever, and if not, it's just terrible. Is kind of what I'm seeing from so many reviewers. And obviously part of it's probably clickbait, right? It's
Right.
like that's how you get the viewers, is having a extreme opinion one way or the other. But 80% of games are just going to be okay or average. Like, that's just the law of averages.
Right.
Not every game is going to be the best game ever, and not every game is going to be trash.
Mhm.
There's very much a happy. So, sorry, for reference, most of the reviews I've seen for Audibles, it's trash.
Mhm.
I don't read the reviews because it's just that's the headline. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But I feel having read between the lines, it does feel like it's somewhere in between.
Yeah.
Where it's not the best, it's not the worst. It's just a good game.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Ah.
Yep.
But yeah, it's good. I mean, it's not mind blowing. It has one thing that it's got a couple things that Zealeus doesn't like about games.
Oh dear. There's a story.
Okay, fine. There's quite a few things that Zealeus doesn't like about games. It has a story. It's open world.
Oh.
You have to go find the side quests if you are going to survive in this game. Because the side quests will allow you to level up so that you can actually stand a chance in some of the shit that you got to do for the main story.
Okay, so question. When you say find the side quest, do you just have to talk to NPCs not knowing if they have a quest? Or is there at least like some kind of identifiable manner to know that?
There's usually there's on your mini map you'll see there's an exclamation mark, but sometimes they are not in the city.
Okay, if there's at least something on the mini map identifying there's something here, I'm actually okay with that.
Okay, but
that I can deal with. Yeah.
Also, you will.
I'm thinking about the old school JRPGs where you just have to talk to people. You don't know what the shit's going to happen. That's a no thank you.
You have to talk to the lady with the white apron, not the gray apron, the white apron that's on the third corner from the left of the first gate. And by first gate, I mean the south gate, not the east gate, not the west gate. There is no north gate, so you don't have to worry about that.
I have to play with GameFAQs open simultaneously so I don't miss anything.
And oh, by the way, she's only there between the hours of 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. She will not. You cannot find her if it's outside that time.
Thanks. I just deleted you.
Oh, and also, she only shows up if it's not raining. If it's raining, then she won't be there either.
Okay, now you've been officially canceled.
And that, my friends, is why I stopped playing that Switch game. That was one of the reasons, was because people, I would like do a bunch of stuff to complete a quest, come back, it's like, oh, the quest giver is not available right now. I'm like, what? No.
Right,
come back.
Right, they went to go walk their dog. Come back.
They had to go to sleep, of course, obviously. I'm like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, that sounds annoying.
Anyways. That's all I got, ladies and gentlemen. Zealeus, you got anything else?
Nope.
All right, then. Friendly reminder that not next week, but the following week, we may not have a Thursday night hangout simply because I may not have the ability to have the show as we're getting some serious work done in the basement office area between March 10th and the 13th. So nice. Hopefully I can have the ability to do so, but just a heads up. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everyone for tuning into the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zealeus, it's been a pleasure getting here to come our heads, our mouths, and of course, our hearts. We'll be back next Thursday for another Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
And remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother.